Hello, and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. I have two rye whiskeys, both straight rye, and they're both 90 proof. So they have a lot of similarities, and they're both bottled in Kentucky, but there are some differences. This is Sazerac Rye, straight rye whiskey. Now notice it doesn't say Kentucky straight rye whiskey. There's a reason for that. 45% alcohol. And I'll tell you the reason. Well, first I'll tell you this was introduced in 2006. I can prove that, 2006. So it's been on the market 18 years. There's no age statement, but they told me on the phone. I called the company, and they told me on the phone that it's average of 8 years. It's what it is. It's average of about 6 years, but they don't make a definitive age statement. She says it's age to taste, but she said you can expect it to be about 6 year age. Now this bottle says distilled, aged, and bottled for Sazerac and at Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky. So most of this is produced in Kentucky at Buffalo Trace, which is owned by Sazerac. But some of it is produced in New Orleans at the Sazerac House. They have a small distillery there that distills some of it. So you can go to Sazerac House and watch them make Sazerac Rye. Or if you're closer to Kentucky, you can go to Buffalo Trace and watch them make it. I've been to both, so both of them were very interesting. And it's a free tour, no charge. No charge, although of course the tour ends at the gift shop. You know how that works. But and also you can go to the Sazerac House and buy liquor. And I think in Kentucky also, if I'm not mistaken, you could buy their products. So like a lot of people have trouble finding Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace. I could go right to the Sazerac House and just buy them, and they don't upcharge it there. So that's a good. Now, if you live close to the Sazerac House, I'm 30 something miles, about 33 miles away, but I could go there and get it Eagle Rare if I needed. If I needed, if one should say need, you don't need liquor. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean if I wanted it, which I like it, and I will buy it one day, I think. All right, so this is the Ezra Brooks. Got a foil cover, or actually a plastic cap cover. Plastic cap, real cork. Introduced in 2017. I know that because I found the trademark data, and they said it was first used in commerce in 2017. I might have read it on their website, or yeah, it was some kind of like press release in 2017. They introduced it. It's got two shades of green, a darker green and a lighter green, both grass green, and gold and white. So it's a nice looking bottle. Two shades of green, gold and white, and it's a squared off bottle. But they changed their bottle designs about 2 years ago. They went from these squared off bottles to more bulbous bottles. And the 90 proof's hard to find these days. You're probably not going to find it. I stumbled across it, and it was in terrible shape. You can see I had to take the label. First, I had to clean it. It was filthy. I had to clean it with warm water and soap, and then I take the label back and try to repair it a little bit so it's looking presentable. When I brought it to the counter, the guy at the liquor store in Belle Chase, Louisiana, he was shocked in the sense that he would allow something to be in his store that bad looking, and that I brought it to the counter. And I asked, how much is this? And he said, $9. So I bought it because I knew it sold for more than $9. It sells for about twice that, about $17.99. So I got it for half price. So I was willing to tolerate the little mess with it. All I had to do was clean it. Okay, but the normal price about $17.99. Here's a wooden cap. It's a wooden cap, and it has a real cork also, just like the Ezra Brooks. Someone's got this on sale this week for $21.99, but wasn't but about a month ago. Some local grocery store had it for $18.99. $18.99. So I think if you look around New Orleans, you could still find a bottle of this for $18.99, which is what I paid now. Still $21.99 is not terrible, but I hear that people in other states can't even get it. Like they were saying they ordered online for $50. I was like, no, no. Wait till you come to New Orleans and you get it for, like I say, at the worst case scenario, $21.99. But generally, these are about the same price, $17.99, $18.99. So $1 or $2 difference, I think. Now, the aging is pretty significant. The Ezra Brooks is aged 2 years. That's it. 2 years. 2 years. In Indiana. It's from Indiana. It's an Indiana straight rye whiskey. It's produced by Luxco for... it's produced by Midwest Grain Products at the old Seagram's Distillery, which has a new name. I can't remember what they call it, for Luxco. But that's no big deal because now, as of the last 4 years, MGP owns Luxco. So they don't make it for another company these days. They're making it for themselves. But it's only for the export market. By reading the website, it's saying for export because it got replaced by a new one called Ezra Brooks 99 Rye, 99 proof rye. Don't know how long that's aged. I see that here and there, not commonly, but I see it. So when they came out with the new Ezra Brooks 99 proof rye, they pushed this one to the back, and it's only for foreign sales now. Same thing with the Ezra Brooks 80 proof Kentucky straight bourbon. That's for export only. But I found a bottle in New Orleans, and I still know where to find it. Not New Orleans, Metairie, Louisiana. But all the new bottles, they only for overseas sales. Mainly Japan, apparently, according to the Luxco website. But yeah, I paid $12.99 for that one. Can you believe it? Craft Beer Tastic says that Ezra Brooks is a score. Oh, for $9? I know. That was mad. That was crazy. I didn't go there to look for liquor. Actually, I did not go there to look for liquor. I went to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and it wasn't quite open yet. So I was like, man, what am I going to do? And then I said, oh, look. There's this liquor store next door, like literally across in the same parking lot. I was like, well, that'll be a good way to kill time. Probably won't find anything, but you never know. Went walking around in there, and first time I ever been in that store, and there it was, Ezra Brooks. I said, look at this here. So that worked out pretty nice, didn't it? And then the food was good. Okay. Oh yeah, screen share. I'll show you the websites. Boy, if I can cut the grass, that'd be a miracle. But it would seem like a miracle, but I don't see it happening. There it is, Sazerac.com. Now, if you read this, it's mainly that this product is really not made for sipping. It's made for a cocktail mixer, and they talk all about Sazerac. Actually, if you go to the Sazerac house, it's an interactive cocktail museum. So it really is. And New Orleans is this big cocktail place. There's even a radio show comes on once a week. I don't know what channel. I don't listen to it. It's called Tales of the Cocktail. But I know a lot of people do listen to it. Aroma, fragrance of clove, sweet vanilla, anise, and pepper. Flavor, the taste has subtle notes of candy, spice, and citrus. Crisp citrus. The finish, a big finish, is smooth with hints of licorice. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. I never tasted all of that. I've tasted some interesting flavors in this, but not that complex. Not saying they're lying. I'm saying I can't pick it up. Sazerac Rye is the way New Orleans whiskey. Well, that's true to a large extent because the product is very popular here. Works seamlessly with a low country boil or barbecue. And well, they go into all kind of detail. You can read it at your leisure. Awards, many awards. It won a gold medal just this very year at the Global Whiskey Challenge, the Whiskies of the World Challenge, the Denver International Spirits Competition, the Ascot Awards, International Spirits Challenge. That's all gold. And a silver medal at International Wine and Spirits Competition and the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So it's just racking up awards. And look how long the list is, right? Now here's Ezra Brooks. Won 2 awards, but it's only in 2017. I like nothing since. That's the year it hit the market. I don't know. I don't get it. But this one is 45% alcohol, as is the other one. And it's 51% rye, 45% corn, and 4% malt. I forgot to put that in the notes. I'll add that. They say you should make it with in an old fashioned, a Boulevardier. Now here's another wingman. See what I'm saying? They're transitioning to different whiskey bottles, the new rounded bottles. 99. See, they're going from 90 to 99. There's old Ezra 7-year plus the 99 rye. There's old Ezra 7-year straight bourbon. Now that's the old bourbon cream, the 25 proof. But there's a new bourbon cream that's 33 proof. But you could see all the whiskey, you know, if you want to look it up. So, yeah, okay. So let me put that in the notes. %51 rye whiskey, 45% corn whiskey, and 4% malted barley whiskey. So it's a blend of 3 different types of whiskeys, what it basically is. None of which is over 2 years old. Joe Hill says, Fandango Friday this week? Yes. Couldn't do it last Friday, but that's all right. Can't do it all. And with football season upon us, you may see some other skips coming up, right? Just picked up a half gallon of bourbon Buffalo Trace for $50. Not sure if that's a great deal or not. First time buying any Buffalo Trace. Well, it's an okay deal. But I think Mathern's got that same product for a good deal cheaper. Let's see. Let me just try to look it up on their website. Buffalo Trace. Better go walking pretty soon because you never know if the downpours are going to return. And I wanted to go one more time. Yeah, you didn't get a bad deal because they got it for $48.99. That's only $1 and a penny less. So, yeah, you got a good deal. You got a good deal. They got Benchmark, that same size bottle, for $18.99 right now. Wow, $18.99. That's what I paid for it at a different store, I think. Maybe I did buy it there. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, $50 or less. I think you're doing all right, and you're gonna like it. It's a good bourbon. No age statement either, right? But I think they're saying it's about 6 years. And what year did that come out? 2000? 2000? Let me mix it up a little bit more. For a long time, people couldn't get Buffalo Trace. Like ever since the scamdemic 4 years ago, you couldn't get it. I mean, you could occasionally, and now it's back to just being on the shelf all the time. So things must have got ironed out. It's going to be a tough challenge, I think. The 6 years should make a difference. 6 years versus 2, right? I say approximately 6 years versus 2, not officially 6, unofficially 6. Like they told me on the phone. Like the lady said, I can't say it's 6 years, but that's what it is. But legally, I can't say that. Smells like minty rye. Good old rye whiskey, right? Yeah, smell like minty rye. So the appearance is about the same. Maybe one is a little darker. It might be the Buffalo Trace. Better mix them up again. I don't know. The smell is identical. Now, I think Buffalo Trace is a low rye rye. Meaning it's a rye whiskey, but it might only be 51% rye with the rest corn. It may have some malted barley in it, also malted barley whiskey. That's allowable. You're only required to have at least 51% rye whiskey in it, and then it can be called rye whiskey. Now, I got some in the other room that's 100% rye, 100%. It's like tequila. Tequila does not have to be all agave. It has to be at least 51% agave juice, agave nectar. You know what I mean? The Blue Weber agave, the agave tequilana. The rest can be some other liquor. Hey, look, I didn't make the law. That's the law. That's the law. Just like with bourbon. Doesn't have to be all corn. 51% corn. The rest can be some other filler. Same thing here. Now, we don't call it filler because some of the stuff they add to bourbon gives it more flavor. Like they'll add wheat or rye or malted barley or all three. Depends how they want to construct it. Just as long as if they follow the minimums, they're in good shape. Yeah, I had trouble finding Buffalo Trace near me a few years ago, and now I've seen it show up more and more. Joe Rogan always was having on his show and added to the hype, I'm sure. Yeah, I heard that name. All right, well, a lot of these guys on the radio, maybe they're getting a little benefit under the table from their company if they're promoting it all the time, but that's cool. I mean, you could tell they're kind of getting paid to do it, but you see a coach like Minty Rye, a famous coach like you used to always see Nick Saban. He always had a specific drink he was drinking when he was doing a press conference. The label was always facing the camera. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that he was being paid to drink that product. If you think otherwise, you're not too smart. Any of these athletes that's drinking a specific product or wearing a specific outfit, there's a specific reason, and we know what the reason is. Do I take issue with that? No, I don't. I take issue with people that think otherwise, because why would you think that? This does kind of have licorice flavor, so maybe I got to eat my words. But they both have the minty rye. They both have corn flavor, yellow corn, I guess. Malted barley, like in Scotland, they call that single malt whiskey. Yeah, they kind of have that, but it's a little bitty bit. Are they enjoyable? Yeah. Are they smooth? Yeah. Are there any off flavors or aromas with these two? No. Are they worth the money? Yes. Especially trying to get this camera to stay focused. It's kind of let me turn on the lamps. Sometimes if there's not enough light, the camera gets confused. Especially for $9, but don't expect. Look, you're not going to find this for $9. You're probably not going to find it because they've been de-emphasizing it, basically delisting it. You say, but I live in Okinawa. Well, you might find it. But it ain't gonna be no $9. That was just a lucky break. Am I noticing any great difference? Honestly, no. Now I got friends who will make these claims. Oh, no, never. I would never confuse the legendary Sazerac Rye, the celebrated legendary baby Sazerac, because there is a 17-year age, much more expensive one. It definitely won't be $18 or $19. And secondly, you're probably not gonna find it anyway because the production is so ridiculously limited. But they'll say, that's why they call this one baby rye because it's much younger. Oh, I would never confuse it with that run of the mill cheap stuff. Oh, blah blah blah. Uh huh. Oh, like Joe Montana and Skechers, exactly. I saw Joe Montana once walking down Common Street in New Orleans. No, I'm not implying that he's common. That was the street we were on. I didn't stop him and say, "Oh, Joe Montana, I've watched you for years." I just said, "Hey, that's Joe Montana." That's it. When I see these celebrities, I don't stop them and do all of that fan stuff. I just say, like Roger Staubach, I saw him at Tulane Stadium. Same thing. I didn't say, "Oh, I remember you." I keep thinking I saw Dr. John at some party one night or something. I keep thinking that maybe I dreamed about it, but it seemed like I was in New Orleans and I was at somebody's party and he was there and they said, "That's Dr. John." And I said, "Oh yeah, I know him." But I didn't say, oh. I know I saw Ronnie Burgess at a party. I was a local celebrity, Ronnie Burgess. I did see him at a party. I can tell you what house I was at. He was friendly. Tell you what, this is a tough one. It's really tough. I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like hand motion. This is going to be pretty obvious because one is so legendary and the other one is not exactly well regarded. But my point earlier was I got friends that claim they would never confuse it, but then they never did a blind taste test. So you can make all the claims you want. You can make the claims. Go ahead, get on the internet. I would never confuse those. Yeah. Okay. Come on over here, and you can drink my whiskey, and come on live. Let's see how much of an expert you are. No, but they're not gonna do that. They're gonna talk, but they ain't gonna walk. See, I did all the Indiana whiskeys first on an Indiana night. You know what I mean? I did all the Indiana ones. Everything I did versus Ezra Brooks so far was MGP produced. I could tell them apart. This is the funny part. I could tell them apart. Didn't get it wrong. Now, I think I got them right. Yeah, pretty sure I did the George Dickel, which is from the same place, Indiana, not from Kentucky, and all of that. And now I'm having the hardest time with two, and they're not from the same place. But I think maybe that this is the Sazerac because I'm getting a little bit, like they said, the licorice. But tell you what, it's really close. So you say, well, I just randomly found both of these. One of them was $23 and the other one was 18. Which one should I just bought an 18. I know the 2-year versus 6-year, but why not just save the money? Because according to what I'm tasting, if you pay $1 more, you might have paid too much. I'll say that again. If you pay $1 more, you might have paid too much. You say, well, you live in Louisiana. That's the headquarters of Sazerac. Now they're going to come at you. They can come at me if they want. I'm just telling you what I'm tasting. All right. I don't live anywhere near Missouri, the headquarters of Luxco. although they are in St. Louis, and that's along the Mississippi River. And New Orleans is on the Mississippi River. Oh, wait, there is a connection. And you can drive up the River Road, the Great River Road National Scenic Highway, and you can go to each city on that road. You can take a canoe. All right, but New Orleans is totally on both sides of the river. There's the east side, the river, and the west side. The city is on both sides of the river. The river goes through New Orleans, but in St. Louis, it's only on the west bank. Only the west bank. East St. Louis is a separate city in a separate state, Illinois now. And I'm unanimous in that. Okay, so the final assessment, they're very similar, although they shouldn't be, but they are. But hey, why not? Because I've heard that Sazerac Rye is only 51% rye. I never heard of that definitively. People will say that. They'll say it. And I'll say, where did you get that information? And then they'll say, they seem like they're aggravated. Well, I read it on a blog. Well, that's not official information because you read it on a blog, all right? Or you heard a podcast, all right? That's not official information. Just like some people got sort of like chippy with me saying, well, I know a guy that works in the industry. That's not a source. I know a guy who's in the industry. That's like telling me, well, the United States did bombing runs in Saigon in 1975. They were bombing the NVA, the North Vietnamese Army, in 1975. I'll be like, really? Where did you get that information? Oh, I got a friend. He was in the CIA. Oh, yeah? What's his name? And how long did he work there? And can I call him? Oh, no, that's secret. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you really don't have any information, not any definitive information. You might just be making it up. I'd say Ezra Brooks and Henry McKenna are about the same caliber. Would you agree? Yes, I wouldn't take issue with that. And I like the Henry McKenna price point. I could still find that for $9.99. No, I'm not even joking. $9.99 for Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. True story. I recently watched a video of Le Jeune Bakery in Jeanneret, Louisiana. The French bread uses lard in the baking process. Really? It looks like fantastic bread. I think I would like that. Never had it, but I know where Jeanneret is. I know people from Jeanneret. Okay, so I'm gonna make the determination. I think this is the Sazerac Rye by virtue of a little bit of licorice in the finish, like they're describing on the website. But it's so close, it's scary. I'm scared to look because I feel like I'm gonna fail. Oh, but I got it. Don't ever question my expertise unless I'm wrong, and then I'll say that it's the company's fault. See, I have a great way of doing this. If I get it right, it's because I'm so good at it. But if I get it wrong, it's because the company gave me bad information or they didn't do something correctly. See, that way I can't lose. It's like Nicky Santoro. If he gets it right, he collects his money. If he's wrong, he tells the bookie to go jump in a lake. All right. Okay, so now I have a lot of exciting rye whiskeys coming up. I have Jim Beam pre-prohibition rye. That's one of, not the only rye they make. Some people say it's discontinued, but then they don't provide any source material. And I'm looking at the website and they're showing it right there on the website. Well, why they got it listed if it's discontinued? There's no information indicating it's discontinued. Maybe it is, but it seemed like they would not keep listing it for the last year. I have that. I have Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. Still, website still there. I got people telling me it's discontinued. Now, could both of these be on the phase out program? Yeah, then I would believe that they're being slowly phased out because you rarely see them anymore. You don't hear much about them. So that could be, now I wouldn't be shocked by that. But to say definitively, oh, they're gone. No, not really. Okay, but probably soon, but maybe not. I don't think Jack Daniel's rye, Tennessee rye, ever really went over too well. I don't know. I'll certainly like it. Then I've got I got some other ryes. Winchester, not too famous, but it's there. Aged 1 year. Pretty good stuff though, really. And then I've got some Canadian ryes coming in. Northern Harvest Rye from Crown Royal. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. 90, what is it? 95% rye? I think it's 95% rye and it's 90 proof. Am I right? 90 proof, 95% rye. Oh man, that is a great one. I cannot see Ezra Brooks standing a chance against that. And you don't see that too much. Like, go shopping around. When do you ever see Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye? I don't see it. I bought it. I bought a whole liter of it. I was stunned by that. First, I was like catching a Fred Sanford heart attack when I saw it for $15.99. I was like, they had it for $15.99. I said, I know that's not the right price because that thing is like $25 if you're lucky. And I was like, oh man, I can't believe this. So I had to buy it, and I wasn't even budgeted to buy it that month. But I was like, no way, I'm not buying this. And then a few months later, I was like, this bottle seems big. This bottle seems big. And then I looked at it one day and I was double shocked. It was a liter bottle. I got 25% extra and I paid $15.99. Amazing. Then I have Alberta Premium 100% rye. Now, it's kind of bland though. I like the flavor, but it's a little bland. It's only 80 proof, but it's really famous in Canada. Yeah, so I have a lot of, I have some more ryes coming up. Not a lot, I guess, but some more. And then it's to bourbon, on to bourbon. Oh, I got to figure out what bourbon I'm going to bring. Could it be Jepson's? Because David gave me that one year for a gift, Jepson's. Well, at least it's bottled in Chicago. They don't really say where it's from. I don't know. Somewhere in America. Bourbon. See, Jepson's is famous for Malort, this weird liquor that I never tried. Malort. And they kind of tell you on their website, you'll hate it, but some people like this odd product. But they do have a bourbon under their umbrella. So I'll say Jepson's. I think they got bought out. Like recently, their owner died or something like. Yeah, I think the guy died and the family didn't want it. And so they sold it. And I think, it came under somebody else. I'm pretty sure it came under somebody else's ownership. But it's kind of a legendary brand. In Chicago, it's not exactly well known. Yeah, I might bring that in. I guess I need to do that, huh? Okay, last comments. The bakery was established in 1884. Oh, man. They are famous ginger cakes and French bread, same recipes they've always used. Oh, man. Next time I head down there, I might stop there because Generette is right along the Interstate 10. For $26 a loaf, it should be the best bread in the world. $26 a loaf. Yeah, maybe I won't be stopping there. Okay, Forlorn Hope says Alberta Premium Cask Strength is worth the time and treasure. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that at a couple of liquor stores. I didn't buy it yet, but I got a good deal on the regular Alberta Premium. So yeah, but I would be open to buying that. Yeah, but $26 for a loaf of bread, yeah, might just stay on I-10 and keep driving toward Houston. But anyway, thanks for the information, and y'all take care. Bye-bye.